Hi, Rich Carrubba for bowlingball.com. Let's talk about reviving your bowling balls, or how to bring dead bowling balls back to life, more specifically. And the term dead bowling balls we hear used, which means the ball simply after a number of games that has been rolled with a, usually a highly aggressive cover stock bowling ball. We want to learn how to bring those dead bowling balls, so to speak, back to life, so they react like they did, or very close to like they did when they were brand new right out of the box. You want to protect your investment in your equipment, of course. You don't want to have to keep running out to buy new bowling balls. They're very expensive, relatively speaking. So one thing you want to do is get rid of that dead ball syndrome. What do? The first thing is to understand that there are some things that come into mind. On these typically very solid, aggressive cover stock balls, if you were to look at the ball surface under a microscope, you would see steep valleys, peaks, ridges, craters that have been created by the chemical nature and of the reactive urethane as it cures when the bowling ball is being manufactured. And the effect is multiplied when they use a lathe and the finishing process of the ball to get the ball shaped and eventually finished off to the type of surface texture that you see when you purchase your ball originally. Now, the odds that the ball is not actually dead is very high. Really, Storm has written a great article about it, and it's on the article in Bowlversity section. If you found this video, you've seen the article. Read the article, okay? I can't relay all the information in it as accurately as the article can, but what happens is that through systematic use of cover stock preparation, you can restore the life of your bowling ball, and the Pro Shop Professional can help you do it to get the ball to react very closely to the way it was when it was new, or actually, what's more importantly, to get the ball to react how it matches up to the lane conditions that you're going to bowl on most frequently, whether you're preparing for a specific condition in a tournament or just your regular league play. So in order to do that, you have some responsibility to learn more about that cover stock and what these cover stocks can do, and what versatility can be done with the high-speed ball spinners and using different grit Abralon pads, for example, to season the surface of the ball and texture it exactly the way you want it to be. Now, I'm going to assume you're going to read the article, so you're going to get all the little nuts and bolts and innuendos about the bowling ball cover stock, but there's a few useful combinations that you can do with the resurfacing or the rescreening of the bowling ball surface. First, you can use just a real low grit pad like a 500 grit, for example. It'll cause the ball to read extremely early. It's a rough surface, a highly textured surface, and it's going to work great on extremely heavy oil patterns or very direct angles by speed dominant players who really throw the ball hard or fast. You want the ball to also rev up and be rolling effectively on the lane surface and not over skid. So the 500 grit can be used for extreme situations and help you fight heavy oil. Next, you can go to a 360 grit and then 1000 grit. What you want to do is try to avoid using scaled up grits of paper from 360 to 500 to 1000 to 1500 to 2000 to 4000. Just gradually doing that, you're not going to build any real traction underneath the cover stock of the ball. Or if you reverse it and go real mild and then get rougher as you go. It's better off really just use the two different grits. An underneath grit, usually a very low grit, a low rating grit pad like 500, and then of course a finer grit pad on top of it. So you can go 500, you can go 360 1000, you can go 500 2000, or you can go 500 4000. And what happens is you can work whether you have a crowned pattern or a wet dry lane condition, or you get a more challenging lane condition where you need a little bit of bite, but you need the ball to slide on the front end of the lane. You can control these types of surface strategies by experimenting with these grit pads in the Pro Shop and preparing your ball surfaces. Now, there's multiple methods. There's multiple resurfacing mediums, and there's multiple grits of pads available on the market. All of them will yield slightly different results, which can cause a ball to read a little earlier or a little later. So you need to tweak your bowling ball cover stock to get it to react the way you want, and particularly get the motion in the mid lane and from the break point to the pocket the way you want. And as a final recommendation, whenever making these surface adjustments, try to make sure that you use consistent pressure on these pads. You can use more pressure for a shorter duration or a lighter pressure on the pad holding the grip pad to the bowling ball for longer periods of time. And this will have a desired effect in creating deviations in the surface strategies to displace the oil, but will also help you round out the edges and the peaks and the valleys, get just the right desired amount of ball skid. So you need some experimentation. Please read the article in Bowlversity. Learning as much as you can about restoration surface strategies will help you become a better bowler. And of course, check with your pro shop professional or local bowling professionals to get some tips to help you match up to those lane conditions that you want to master. Thank you.